Hello students, welcome to the part 5 video of unit 1 in electromagnetic theory. In this video we are going to see about the spherical coordinate systems. In the previous videos we have covered Cartesian coordinate systems and cylindrical coordinate systems. As we have seen in the previous video, the cylindrical coordinate systems are going to be applied for the problems which are dealing with the cylindrical symmetrical nature. That is, if you are taking as an example a wire with infinite wire, if you are going to calculate an electric field due to that current flowing in that particular wire, you need to use the cylindrical coordinate system, because that wire having the cylindrical symmetrical properties, so that we need to use the cylindrical coordinate system for analyzing the or finding out the electric field of that particular wire or magnetic field of that particular wire. So it is very convenient to use the spherical symmetric. It is very convenient to use the spherical coordinate system for spherical symmetrical problems. The spherical symmetrical problems may be defined as in the form that the fields originate from the origin, that is 0, 0, 0, radially inward or outward, and both scalar and vector fields may be represented using the spherical coordinates. So how they can be modeled means, if you are having a field that is originating or it is converging into the origin means, and if the field lines are coming radially as such, if you are imagine a sphere and the field lines are coming inwards into the sphere or outwards from the origin of the sphere. If the problem is being defined in this way, then that particular problem can be analyzed with the use of spherical coordinate system. So in the spherical coordinate system we will be dealing with three parameters called r, that is the radius of the sphere. Here we have defined that particular one. If you are considering this as a sphere, then the radius of the sphere is going to be r. This is the first parameter which we are going to deal, right? First. Second, we are going to deal with the theta, the angle from the z-axis to the particular radius of the circle, that is the radius line. If you are drawing from the origin to the outer periphery of the sphere, then if that particular line is being represented with an vector, then if you are going to measure angle between the between that vector and the z-axis, then that angle is going to be called as theta. And as far as we are known in the cylindrical coordinate system, if the particular vector which is being represented, if in that vector, if you are representing a point P, if that point is being represented, if the projection of that particular point on the xy plane, then that projection is making an angle with the x-axis. The angle is called as phi, and you just know that this angle is being called as azimuth angle. So these three parameters are going to define the spherical coordinate system. And the actual range of that particular problem, particular variables are, if r, then it is going to from 0 to infinity, and if it is going to be theta, then we may represent with 0 to 2 pi, or you can say it is 0 to 360 degrees. And if you are going to represent with phi, then it is going to vary from 0 to pi only, because this particular angle is measured in a plane only. It is not going to be in the three-dimensional manner. So this is going to be only in a planar manner, so that we are just representing this particular angle. The azimuth angle is represented within 0 to pi. So if we are representing like that, then we can represent the changes of the angles or the parameters which we are defined here as follows. So here, if you are making the particular sphere as a piece of an intersection of vectors, then you can see like this. Here, if you are making a particular radial outward field direction as such like this, and we can make the vectors is in the form like this. So here, this is the radiation, this is the direction of the particular r. So this is going to be the r. Then we can define the unit vector ar cap in the direction of this r, and this is the point where we are going to measure the parameters of spherical coordinate system. Then this particular point is going to be called as r, and this point is going to call as q. Means then we can represent this as r and this point as an r plus dr. So if you are representing it as r, then the other point it is going to be measured as dr. Okay, so this is one way, right? And this is for r. What about for theta? Theta also we can represent in this form. I said that the theta has been measured from the z axis to the vector of r, and that particular vector particular angle can be measured as theta. And if that theta is going to change in this particular manner, then we can say this is a theta. Then that particular angle which is creating a radial length, that is the arc length, then that particular arc length can be said as r into d theta. As such, we have seen in the cylindrical coordinate system as rho d phi, right? So likewise, we can define the particular arc length as r into d theta. Okay, and also we can define, so as such we have defined the ar cap vector. We can also define the vector a theta cap in the direction of changing of this particular theta. So we can say this is a theta cap. Okay, also we can represent the change of the phi angle. As such, we have defined in the that is the phi as a angle between the x to the projection of the particular point on the xy plane. We can represent this particular angle as phi. So the change of the phi with the change of the vector, we have defined the particular change in the angle as d phi here. So as we have defined this as d phi, and we can represent this arc length as rho into d phi. So this change can be represented in this particular three-dimensional view. We can represent this particular side as a change in the phi. So as we have defined these three parameters, we can represent the change in the surfaces also. So as we have mentioned in the particular figure, this side is going to change the r. and this particular side is going to represented as the change in the theta, and this side is going to represented as the change in the phi, right? So as we have mentioned, so we can represent this particular three-dimensional figure with the help of three surfaces. So first surface is going to be this, and second surface is going to this. So this is the second surface, and this is going to be your third surface. Okay. So the three surfaces can be represented here also. So we have mentioned in the colored manner. So here this particular blue color is being represented as a separate figure here. Yeah, you can see the unit vectors as we have defined. If this is the particular r vector, so we can define the ar cap in the direction of that r vector. So we have defined the ar and a theta as we have mentioned in the previous figure, and also a phi in this manner. Okay, so here we are going to take only this surface. So if we can take this surface, then this particular length is going to called as dr. Why? Because this is the r point and this is the r plus dr point. So this distance can be defined as the dr length. Okay, and you can view here also. So you just notice this is an d theta, and if this is going to be d theta, then this arc length can be defined as r d theta. So here we have mentioned that this is the arc length. So as such we can mention here also this is the r d theta. So if you are defining this surface as an difference of this this is the components of this dr and r d theta, then we can represent the surface as ds is equal to r into dr into d theta of a phi. Why we are making this as a phi? Because the a phi is the only vector which is orthogonal to this particular surface, because this is creating 90 degree to this surface, so that we have mentioning this as an unit vector, so that we have given this particular orthonormal vector as a phi here. And also we can define this particular surface here. This particular surface having the having two different sides. So this side we have defined this as a rho d phi. So why we have defined this as rho d phi? Because this is the length of the rho, and this is the length, that is the change in the d phi. So we have defined this as a rho into d phi. So this part is a rho into d phi, and this particular length is going to call as dr. So why we are making this as dr? Because this is in this direction, so we are having the r vector, and in this direction means it is going to represent plus dr. So r plus dr we have defined here. So this particular length is called as dr. Okay, so we can define this particular surface as ds is equal to phi in rho into d phi and into dr. So here you can also represent this phi from the cylindrical coordinate system. So this rho can be defined as a x is equal to rho into sine phi. So this rho can be represented as a r into sine phi. So that we have defined this rho is equal to r into sine phi. So we can say this as a r into sine theta into d phi. So this is going to be r sine theta d phi into dr, because this particular side is also can be represented here. And also you can define this particular area also as we have mentioned here. this particular length is going to call as r d theta, because this is the vector that is, and this is the arc length we have defined here. It is r into d phi, and this particular length is called as phi into d phi, as we have mentioned here. So this rho into d phi and r into d theta. So r into d theta, we can write as like that. Rho is equal to r into sine phi, as we sine theta, as we have mentioned here. So that also can be multiplied. So we can take the result as r square sine theta d theta into d phi. Okay. Here comes the next important part of the video. We have mentioned the three vectors of Cartesian coordinate system, that is x, y and z. With the help of this Cartesian coordinate system only, we are going to represent the components of the spherical coordinate systems. So if we are going to define this point P as x comma y comma z, then also we can represent for the cylindrical coordinate system as rho phi and z, and also we can define it for spherical coordinate system as r phi into phi and theta. So we can make the projections on each and every axis. So here from the P point to the origin, we are going to draw a particular vector called as r. So this vector is being represented as the red line here. So here, if we are making, if we are going to make the projection on the xy plane, so we are just representing the particular projection. So this projection can be splitted into two components. As projection on the x component, it is going to be called as rho into sine phi. Why we are making this as a sine phi? Because this is the vector called as rho, as we have mentioned in the cylindrical coordinate system. Also we have drawn the same diagram on that particular video. The same diagram is being represented here also, because the spherical and the cylindrical coordinate systems are going to be consist in the curvilinear coordinate systems. So curvilinear coordinate systems consist of the base radius of the curvilinear surfaces. So that particular base surfaces are going to be represented by the rho. So this rho is being represented in all the curvilinear coordinate systems, so that we are also mentioning here. So rho, this angle is going to be phi. So we have mentioned in the mentioned previously. So this particular component can be represented as rho into sine phi, and this component as a rho into cos phi. And also we can make the projection on the z-axis also. So this particular z-axis can be represented as a rho. Why we are representing this as a rho? Because this projection is making on the xy plane, and this distance is going to be the same distance which is mentioning here, because this is a sphere. So these distances are not different. So we can represent, if you are representing this as a rho, then this also can be represented as rho. So if this is going to be rho, then we can define this as a if you are defining this as a theta angle, then you can represent this rho as a r into sine theta. That's why we have represented here rho as an r into sine theta. Okay, so this is the reason for making this rho as an sine theta over here. Okay, so this is the r into sine theta. So this is going to be rho. Now if you are going to mention in the form of unit vectors, so we can mention like this. As we have seen in this diagram also, we are representing the same thing on this particular vector. Why I am making here means there is a reason that we are going to derive an expressions for spherical coordinate systems, so that we need some base vectors, so that from that base vectors we are going to represent the components. So depending upon the components only, you are going to understand what is going on inside that particular things. So that's why I had drawn the unit vectors, that is the base unit vectors in the downside of this diagram. So just for clearance only I had mentioned here. So in a vector in spherical coordinate system is written as a vector is equal to ar cap plus a theta cap plus a phi cap, or we can write ar, a theta and a phi. So these are all mutually perpendicular unit vectors, as we all know. So the magnitude of the a vector is going to be called as the root of a square, ar square plus a theta square plus a phi square. As such, you know, these are all mutually perpendicular to each other. If you are making the cross product, then the other vector will be generated. So ar cap and a theta cap, if they are going to be cross producted, then the other vector a phi can be generated. Why? Because this is ar a theta into sin theta will be coming. So the angle between these two are going to be 90 degrees. So sin 90 is 1. So that we have generated with the a phi, and as such we can represent a theta into, that is cross a phi is equal to ar vector, and a phi cross ar vector is equal to a theta vector. And also we have seen this also in the previous video. So ar into ar, that is the dot product, means the angle is going to be 0. So cos 0 is 1. So we can represent this as 1. If you are making the others in the dot product vectors, so we will be getting the answer 0. Why? Because these are all mutually perpendicular to each other. So the cos 90 is going to be 0. So we have getting the answer as 0. So from the above figure we can get the r vector is equal to, because the r vector is representing the 3 axis also. So for the 3 axis diagram, the vector representation, the magnitude of the 3 axis vectors can be represented as x square plus y square plus z square. So also the angle can be represented as theta is equal to tan inverse of root of x square plus y square. Why we are making x square plus y square? Because this is the projection of this one. So this particular vector plus this particular vector can be represented with the parallelogram law as root of x square plus y square. So this angle and this angle can be represented as an angular separation. So we can mention this as a tan theta is equal to root of x square plus y square divided by z. So we can mention this theta is equal to tan inverse of root of x square plus y square divided by z. And we can also find out what is the value of phi. So this phi can be represented as a root of tan inverse of y by x. So why we are getting the y by x? This is the axis of y axis component, and this is the axis of z axis component. So we can mention the angular separation between the two axes as a tan inverse of y by x. So the x can be represented here as rho into cos phi. So this rho, as we have mentioned in the previously, r into sin theta, and rho into sin phi can be represented as y. So that rho can be replaced with r into sin theta. So r sin theta, sin phi will be coming, and z is equal to r into cos theta. Why we are getting like this? Because this is the z axis component. So this is going to be r into cos theta. Now the transformation equations can be derived from the diagram as we have mentioned. Here you just notice carefully, because this is an important one. So you need to listen carefully. As we have mentioned in the base vector, this is going to be the direction of ar cap. Okay, so I just as we have mentioned, this is an AR vector. We can make the projection on the xy plane like this. Okay, so if it is meeting the xy plane here, means we can make the projection like this. And also this vector can also have the projection on the z plane also. So if this is going to be the z plane's projection, so we can also draw the z plane projection like this, because this is an unit vector, so we can draw the projections on this 3 axes. Now you just listen that AR cap having the 3 projections, that is, one is here, another one is here. So this is the y-axis projection, this is an x-axis projection, and this is the z-axis projection. Z-axis projection is being measured from this particular point to the z-axis projection. So this is traveling in the negative direction of the z. And also we have mentioned this component as sin theta component of R vector. So this is going to be minus sin theta component of this particular one. So as such we are mentioning it as for AR cap. So we can say for the z axis we have mentioned with the minus sin phi. Okay, and if we are taking it for y-axis component, it is rho into cos phi. So rho into cos phi means it is sin theta, as we have known. So rho can be represented with the r into sin theta. So we can represent as a x-axis component as sin theta into cos phi, right? Also for the y-axis component, it is rho into sin phi. So rho, as we have as we can say, this is the r into sin theta. So r into sin theta is replaced here. So sin theta into sin phi will be coming for the y-axis component. So we have get the 3 axes for the projection of AR vector on the 3 axes. So we have get the 3 answers. Okay, so this is as far as AR vector is concerned. Now if we are going to project it for A theta vector, means how it will be coming, that we need to know. Since we have taken notes for the clarity of students only, I didn't draw these kind of diagrams in the notes. So if I draw in the notes, means it will be very difficult to follow. So that only I have mentioned here in the video now. So now we are going to draw it for the A theta vector. So A theta vector means we can draw like this. So if you are going to make the projections on the xy plane, means it will be coming like this, same projections. Okay, now you just listen. This is the point where our z-axis is going to be traveled from the point of this r into cos theta, so that we get the answer of cos theta in the all the projections. And as far as a z-axis being represented, it is represented as a sin phi here. In the previous thing, we have get the Sin theta, and here we have get with the cos theta, but here cos theta, but we are getting the sin phi as an answer. So here you can see this as a row. So rho into cos phi means we can get the r into cos theta into cos phi for the x-axis component. So the x-axis component is being represented as cos theta into cos phi, and y-axis component rho into sin phi will be coming. So rho we can represent it as a r into cos theta. So cos theta into sin phi will be coming. So cos theta and sin phi will be represented here, and minus sin phi will be represented here. And how about for the a phi? We can mention in this diagram also. In the a phi component, z component will not come. Why? Because that particular component is only drawn in the parallel with a xy plane only. So why we are mentioning the z plane, it is coming as an minus 0 z axis. So as we have mentioned, this is the direction of the a phi vector. So that's why we just don't have the components of the particular z axis, so that we get with the cos theta a r cap minus sin theta a theta cap. So this is the reason for making this equations as we can mention. So these projections and all did not been given in any of the books. These things we need to understand as our own. So that only I have taken some time to explain you. If you are having any doubts, you can ask over phone, or you can ask in the Google Classroom app also. So I can explain it once again for you all. Okay. So we have get these three equations, so we can form a matrix format for this particular equation. As you know, sin theta cos phi will be coming here, cos theta cos phi will be coming here. So we can mention this particular three equations into 3 cross 3 matrix format. So if we want to find out this AR, A theta, A phi components, so this will be coming this side and this will be coming this side, means this can be taken as an inverse transformation of 3 cross 3 matrix. So if you are making the inverse 3 cross 3 matrix, the row vectors are going to be represented as a column vectors. You can see here sin theta cos phi, cos theta cos phi, minus sin phi are row vectors here, but the inverse transformation is making these row vectors into column vectors. So sin theta cos phi, cos theta cos phi, minus sin phi are coming as an row column components. So this particular row components will be coming as an column components. Sin theta sin phi, cos theta sin phi, and cos theta cos phi is coming as an column component. And here also you can represent this row as an column, cos theta minus sin phi 0. Okay, so as such you can come with this. So this is the end of the spherical coordinate systems.